Hi and welcome to my Lua tutorial of how to create an app using Corona Simulator. This is the one I created earlier, so let me just show you guys how it works. It's just balls bouncing, okay, or I call it falling ball, and that is it. So what I'll do next is to take you guys straight into the Corona Simulator and with Lua programming language, and then show you guys how I've put this together. So let's do that now. Okay, to start with, I'll go to File right there, click on New Project. Let me just call that Football or Falling Balls, and select my desktop. That's fine. Click on OK. And right here, those are the files generated by Corona. So if I double click on this main, which is the one, or which is the file I will be writing my program, let me double click on this so that you guys see right there, guys, and that is the file. As you can see, there's nothing there, it's all empty. So the first thing that I'll do is to officially import or include the Corona physics library. Okay, I have the Corona physics library on board. That's it right there. And one other thing I'd like you guys to see before I continue, let me show you guys the images. I'm going to be using a field. That's the field there. I've created this field using Flash, as you can see. That's Flash. So let's get it all back. So let me save that. So I'm going to save that, import the image straight into where I intend to create my program. So let's come right in here, football. So that is it, grass field. Just save it right there. So I have my grass field on board, so that's fine. So I can now close the Flash. I don't need that anymore. Okay, save. That's fine. So if I minimize this, you guys can see that's the grass field there. The next thing I want to do is to get a football in there. So let's get a football in there, and a sky, of course. So that's the football and the sky. So I might as well just copy those, copy, and just dump it in my file right there, paste. So I have my sky and the football. And then let's go back to the main, where I've already entered just 2 lines of code that include a physics library. And the next thing is, let me include my sky. That's the image for the sky, and it's going to be followed by, and I'll need a football field. So let's get that in there and just call that field. That's the field right there. And here, of course, I've saved that as a grass, so let's just call it grass.png. So that's in place. Okay, since I now have my physics included, the physics library is included, the sky is in place, and I also have my grass right there. So the grass image. So let's give that a try and see what will happen. I'm just going to run it and see. Okay, now I have the grass right there and the sky right there. So let's continue, guys. So I'm just going to sort of like minimize that, or just click on this and continue with coding. So let's just set the X and Y axis of the grass. That's the X and Y axis for the grass. Okay, if I save, I can always relaunch. Now I've got my X and Y axis, or the location of the grass right there. You see that, guys? So let's continue. So the next thing I'm going to do now is enter the physics body and make that static. So if anything should bounce on the grass, it just stays right there, nothing will happen to it. So we continue by entering the following lines of code to get the ball in place. That's the falling ball, and those are the coordinate for the falling ball. That's the angle of rotation, which is 10 degrees, so which we can always change. I can even go for 20. So the physics body here, in this case, that's the density of the friction and the bounce. So if I save, let's save it and just run it and see. There, let's run it and see what will happen. That's the ball. See the ball just fall and rest right there. So supposing I change, let's change the bouncing, let's change it to 1 and see what's gonna happen. Save, come in here, relaunch. Let's see that. Can you guys see that? So with 1, it seems to just sort of like bounce out. So let's leave it as 0.5. So to end up, or to finish up with this very program, or this very app, I'll enter the following lines of code. Let me save it first. In this case, what's happening here is I've asked the ball to drop 200 times, but let's go for 10 and see. Yeah, let's just go for 10 and you guys will see what will happen. And here I still have my bounce as 1. Let's change that to 0.5 and let's run the program. But before I run the program, you can see I've defined a function right here, which I've also ended here as well, and those will give me, that is the coordinate of where the ball will bounce. It's going to be a random coordinate. Okay, so the ball will just bounce anyhow in the range of 400, which you can always change to whatever you want. And then we also have the rotation there. Let's change this to 20 as well. So if I save and run this program now, let's save and run it, launch it, and that is what you guys will get. That's just for 10 balls. So supposing I change it to, let's go for about 50, and also here have 100. That's to do with the timer. So if I change the timer to about 200, that will cause a delay of about 2 seconds. So let's see, and that's to do with 50 balls. Okay, so if that's for 50 balls, let's go for 200. Save, come back here, relaunch the simulator. Let's see what will happen with 200 balls. And that's with 200 balls. So what I should do is, let me just move it aside so that you guys can see all the lines of codes. You can always write something like that. Okay, that's for 200 balls, and that's how you develop an app. You can always use this to convert it to some other kind of app. The choice is yours. So with that, I just call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you all enjoy it, and I'll be back with more app tutorial. Bye for now.